Hold on. All right, we are live. You got that? Is that in your phone?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Oh, I see my video. Cool. Oh, I see my video. You gotta turn yours down. Weaven, please stop. Hello, everybody. Josh and Rhonda here.
Hello.
What a privilege. And we know that we have volume because I heard it through Rhonda's phone, and then Rhonda turned it down. RC Air Marshal, I thought I saw that name. What up, Dave? Hi, Randy.
Hi, Randy.
I did see your message to say hello to Rhonda, but you can say hello yourself. Good stuff.
Hi, Deuces.
Definitely. Thank you, Deuces. Very lovely. She stays with me. She automatically gets credit, right? What's up, Vic? How are you tonight? What you flying today, Vic? Hey, by chance, did you see that video that I put up with the GoPro and the telemetry? It'd be pretty cool on some of the planes you guys have, like your airliner, to be able to get the speed on it, you know what I mean? And to be able to dial in and know, all right, I landed at this speed at this airliner doing a wheelie, you know, stuff like that. Guniak, what's going on? Still out at the field? Yeah, we got a baby crawling around here somewhere. Can you hear him? Yeah.
Thank you, Randy. I try.
I like the sunshine. So I went out to my club meeting tonight. So that's why I was a little late. It's on the other side of town. Luckily, they closed up early. They were doing a lot of Jackson's favorite talk, FAA talk. But they were like, all right, let's move on. You know, there was that one person that was like, oh, I got this article, I get this article. And he's right, you know, something that does need to be talked about if it can adversely affect us. And that's my major point, you know. What's the point of what they're doing and how can it adversely affect us? So, all right. So on the coast, so we'll get good S-picks. Flying tomorrow. Okay. Nice. Do I see Bledsoe's name? Yeah. What's up? Bledsoe, man, you've been doing some cool videos on those trains, and they're getting better and better. I really appreciate that I can get into your hobby as well. Oh, yeah. Rhonda's going to put a cover over some of these birds, so that they can quiet down a little bit. Hopefully it's not in you guys' ear too much. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a filter to this camera real quick. Oh, it's already got it. Yep, good. That helps out. So yeah, and then I'm on the field committee. One of the things I found out from the president talking to him is that over the years, what has been happening is, oh, thanks, Guniak, is that somebody, which was my thought of something that should be done, is continually add soil to certain low areas. Well, that's all good and well as long as you have somebody doing it. And then, for some reason, you know how clubs are, the person did not continue, you know, maybe they died. It happens. That'd be the worst case scenario. But now we're at that point where so much time has passed that we're going to need a major overhaul, you know, to make up for those years where fixes have not been done. So that's where me and a couple other people are going to come into play. Yeah, definitely. Randy's got a Bixler 2, the FPV video. That is definitely good. I'm going to be watching that. I'd like to see, you know, one of the things is I want to have more people in the hobby doing FPV, doing long range, at least from the point of view of, you know, enable them by giving them information so that if they want to, you know, you can. There's definitely different techniques that can be used to get more people into it quite easily. Let's make sure I get Rhonda in here. What's the show without Rhonda? So for the field, we're going to be doing a major overhaul. Josh looks like a bobcat. Going to be your new friend. Looks like a bobcat going to be your new friend. Oh, yes, yes. That's the thing is, I was an equipment operator in the Army. What? Bledsoe? Always good for a good joke. I've got an FMS Pits on the way. At $279, they made me buy it. Okay. Now to his actual joke. Let's see. Just go ahead, Bledsoe says, just go ahead and put the camera on Rhonda. Only. And we can still hear you. Oh, too bad you can still hear me. So yeah, I was an equipment operator in the Army. And that's what I was saying to the president is, you know, how do we go about doing that budget? How do we go about putting together a plan, especially if we're going to put the engineering mindset into it? Hello, Airborne. You know, my background is a civil engineer. I have a degree from Syracuse University. And if I'm going to say put forth the time and effort and plan, I want to put one that's more likely to be successful, not one that is going to cost $3,000 and somebody says, you know, oh, just leave it the way it is. But he did say, you know, people do want to improve it. Hopefully we have the money. We had a good air show this last year. It was the AMA District 2 place for the meeting for New York, New Jersey. We didn't have anybody come from overseas, but AMA District 2 does actually include a little bit of European states. So, you know, it's, don't even need to hear me. So, he did say that people were, say, complaining and wanting better for the airfield. It's great. I like that we have a very high standard because our field is very nice, but we also have, you know, people with turbines and the bouncing, the crashes on them. It's a lot more of a pretty penny to repair a turbine plane than it is a foamy, which is automatically going to be, you know, somewhat lighter. How come everybody's just telling me to be quiet now? Start thinking about got my pits for free, did you? That's awesome. How did that happen, EQ? Yes, do it right. You know, that's the thing, Guniak, and not only are we going to be able to do this field right, but it's also going to be grass. I mean, it's going to be like not a fairway, but a greenway. And when I start getting onto things, I really start getting, you know, let's just go straight to anal retentive. Let's just say it, right? You know, I'm going to be perfecting this thing. Guniak is saying, my club hired some good people to do the paving and grading for our spot. Totally worth the money. And then we put turf next to the runway as well for the hand launch stuff. Runway was extended as well. You know, that's what we're thinking about is it doesn't take a lot to get let's say a hard surface. I was actually a part of extending a runway at Fort Bragg I'm talking about extending a runway mile. Okay, added a mile to it. And once that happened, then we had C-17s landing. Now this runway was dirt, but we compacted it so well that these planes were landing just fine. So, you know, I mean, Guniak, you're actually making me think about it. Like, you don't need asphalt, and you don't have to fly on dirt. You can have a smooth surface, and what we literally did was we mixed something that was basically like Elmer's glue in with water, spread it over the field, and that was it. I mean, you know, obviously a lot more went into it, but as far as the actual cap, that was basically it.
Hi, Jeff in Lower Alabama.
Hey, Jeff. No, you know, Guniak, we extended it a mile. Not 1 mile of dirt, but we added a mile to it. So we're talking like, say, and then in Afghanistan, we had not only that, as wide as can be, but we also had the hammerhead, because you're having a C-17 come down, you know, land, and he was leaving skid marks on our dirt runway without messing it up at all. And then we would have to have the dirt compacted so that they could turn around in the hammerhead and then take off. Jermaine, what's up? Good evening. So, you know, Kenny, if you're going to do that, you got to wait for the, oh, something just fell over here. You got to wait for the signal switch. All right. You ready, Kenny? We'll flip the, there you go. That's the cue. C-17s are crazy cool with a short field capability. Definitely, Bled. So one of the things that I like about them is that, especially in dirt, you really see their reverse thrusting. So they come down, and in the combat landing, they come down almost vertical. You know, as much as you can think about it, as much as you actually see them at the distance, they're just like dropping, right? So you don't hear them. And all of a sudden they come in and they land quiet. They're hardly on their brakes. Once they actually are landing and rolling, then all of a sudden you really hear their reverse thrusters kicking in. By that time, that dust, now there wasn't too much on our field because, like I say, it's capped, but there is still, say, some residual dust that has fallen on top of it, and that dust is catching up with them, and they're reverse thrusting, and you're like, well, that doesn't look like it wants to be ingested in that engine and then take back off in the middle of, you know, we don't have a C-17 repair shop in the middle of nowhere. So it's like, all right, is he going to ingest that dust? But no, it was just enough. And then I don't know if the pilots had a camera or you know, the flight engineer saying, all right, kick off the reverse thrusters. You know, yeah, Guniak, I mean, it is crazy what they can do. And I found out something as well is that they're using some of their actual thrust to go over their, you know, flaps. I believe it's something like that, along with the front of their wings with the slats. It's crazy. It reminds me of like a timber, you know, the STOL capabilities, all the different things that it has on the wings. So I definitely love that about the C-17, along with I jumped out of them, and they're the Cadillac of the sky. John Airborne in here will definitely tell you about that, and so will Eric, Shadow Ops. He'll tell you about that too. That he never oh yeah, there's Shadow Ops. That he never wants to be in a C-130 sardine can again. Had to look it up. They can do it at 3,500 foot runway. Yeah. And then their takeoff, you know, it's impressive as well. But I think actually to me, seeing them land and take off in person, their landing is more impressive than their takeoff. Just read is what John Noon's Airborne RC is saying. Just read the A-10 is getting the AX-48. Going bye-bye forever here at Davis Motham. Oh, it's getting the axe. Okay. So, John, you got to confirm that for us, because that A-10 has been rumored to be getting the axe time and time again, but you just can't kill it, you know? Kind of like a lake brake on a semi, a Jake brake. Yeah, it is. I had the Jake brake. I drove the biggest trucks, and when I would go on certain missions, my exhaust was off, and we had, I believe it was maybe a 2 and a 4 cylinder Jake brake. So when you hit 2, you would just get 2. When you hit 4, or you could do 6. Well, I would be driving by some people in Afghanistan, some locals, going fast, quiet, just another convoy driving by. But when I turn on that Jake brake, and I would turn it on all of a sudden and let off the gas, you had 6 cylinders coming basically straight out of the exhaust. Those people, I feel like a jerk for saying this. Those people, they thought like, it sounded like a 50 cal was going off. Now our truck didn't have any actual weapons on it. Like, this was a semi armored up, so it's not like a Humvee with a turret. So there was nobody on top that they would look at and be like, oh, he's firing at me. But they heard it, definitely, for sure. It was loud. Yeah, the Guniac, the C-130, he says, back up, turn around, and take off again. It is, and they're quick. You know, where we were, it was a combat landing. Oh, so John Noons is saying, you know, that is coming from Trump's budget. I heard something about he passed it. You know, maybe he means business. Maybe he is making an actual business decision for it. I hope it does, you know, save some money. Shadow Ops, only 44 A10, probably the ones not re-winged. Yeah, because what Shadow Ops is saying is, you know, these planes, they have a service life, and there's cracks in the wings of the A10. But yeah, the C-130, when you're talking about, say, a combat land, they did not wait for the crew, the field crew, to get out of the way before they kicked up their props. And like I say, this is a capped dirt runway, but there's stuff on top of it. And sand, if you can imagine, I'm talking about like 50 feet behind a C-130, revving up to do a combat takeoff. Wheels locked down, those props going full speed. They just started, and literally there was 5 of us behind it getting pelted by this debris hitting us. It was insane. I can't express how bad it was, but I had my helmet on. I'm sitting like this straight. I had to hide my hands inside the rim of my helmet, put my helmet down, and tuck in like this, because that combat takeoff, that thing was fast. I'm looking at myself on the replay, like, what the hell are you doing? You look like a silly guy. So if you guys, in September, it was announced that A-10s getting upgrades. Must not be the entire fleet. Yeah, you know, I mean, that's questionable, George. It's you know, are you going to keep, say, upgrading them until they're actually cut? You might as well. Josh is like Dave when he gets on a tangent. Fuck FFFS. No, a lot of exciting stuff going on today. Hello, Reckham Royce. And you know what?
Hello, Reckham.
I love saying hello to everybody that comes in here, like JCB67. I saw the Blue Angels, Fat Albert, do a Jado take. Oh, man, that would be so sweet. Oh, man, I would love to see that. I think I have to make it because it's not going to last forever. You know what I mean? The other thing is, if you guys would, welcome Thomas Milano to the show. I haven't seen him before because I have not turned his name blue. So he is now going to be added as a moderator.
Hello, Thomas.
I wish someone would make an SU-25. We're going back into the models now, right? Good stuff. Get your wallets ready for tomorrow. Awesome, Pilot Ryan. So, let's see. Tomorrow's Thursday, right? All right, cool. Colin says, Blue Angels getting a new C1. Oh, they are. That is awesome. So, just so you got RC this. Hello, first time here. Welcome to the show, RC this.
Hello.
I like that name, but it also is, you know, because it has, say, RC. But what kind of RC is it? Is it everything? Do you also fly planes, quads? Let us know. We're interested. And welcome. So one of the exciting things, this is 3D metal printed. So you guys may have seen that video and you saw it stuck down to the platform. But here's the cool thing about this 3D printed. And all I did was essentially cut it off the build platform, the way you guys saw it in the video today. And this is what it does right off of the platform. This is as it's built. I didn't put this together. It was built as one piece. So that's the cool thing about it, is that how would you make this without 3D printing? You know, you're not going to do it in one piece. And that's where 3D printing mindset has to take control. You can make the ball inside of the socket as a part of the print, because essentially it's printing it one layer at a time.
Air Marshal.
Marshals. What do you say?
I'm not reading that.
You're not reading that? Yeah, no, this is something you don't want crawling out, Dave. Not if you're coming back from Mars or China. You don't want this crawling out. But that's what it is. Let me get it closer. So I'm going to wind up putting this on my keychain. This is also Inconel 718. LJ Hobby, welcome. I got excited, 3D printing plastic. Here you are printing metal. That is funny because the guys at the club at the hobby shop tonight where we meet, one of them had a clamp, you know, subtractive manufactured. And he says, I got this. Look what he's got. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this is one of the trinkets, essentially, to show off the capabilities of the 3D printer.
That's really cool. It looks like the Predator.
Yeah, it could be the Predator.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of the weight of it?
It's heavier than it looks.
It's solid all the way through.
Very cool. It's Predator.
Oh yeah, here it is. He's right. It's the Predator. Let's see what this looks like in the camera here. So yeah, this was cool, and it's also nice that around my shop, you know, my boss, the president, he has done fasteners for all high-end planes. I'm talking about some of the things that, you know, you can't talk about still. Some of the challenges. If you guys can think about how many nuts and bolts and screws are on an airplane, right? And he's been involved in all of that. And, you know, some of the fasteners, NASA has him on speed dial saying, hey, can you do a fastener like this? And he can get it out to them. So his stuff is going into space. And his hobby is actually fishing. Yes, George, definitely can. We will, I'll get you the email. It's jweaver@vetted3d.com. The C5 is one of those planes that is great. It floats in the air. You just can't beat it for how big the C5 is. And if you guys haven't been around a military base, find out where one is that has C5s. Those things, they look like they're just going to fall out of the air because they literally look as if they're not moving. Do you remember seeing them around Fort Bragg?
Yeah.
What'd you think about them?
Pretty cool.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How slow did they go?
Very slow. Like standstill slow.
Yeah, so you can imagine somebody like my wife going, is that thing
Is it moving?
falling?
Yeah.
Yeah, is it moving? I mean, that's really the question you ask when you see a C5. Is it moving? What? Yeah, I'm not going to read that comment from Michael. George Watch, yeah, definitely get a hold of us. Oh, LJ flew one into Iraq the first time. Horrible, C5s are horrible to fly in. I can imagine also if it is military spec. You know, it's not like there's seats or anything like that. J Ray, what's going on? So the C5 Galaxy, you know, you have the C-130, which is the prop and the workhorse of the Army. You know, the spooky gunship, does anything and everything. You got the C-17, which is, like Eric was saying earlier, it is the high-tech replacement for the C-130. The C-5 Galaxy, that's the one where the nose is coming up. I think the tail comes up, or at least you have access. So it's essentially you have, you know, a giant tunnel you could run a train through. No thanks. And, you know, you can also drop a ton of weight out of the thing if need be. You could drop a tank out of the back, you know, and a ton of cargo. But that C5, it literally looks like it can fly backwards. Oh, Fred Barron, good evening, sir. How are you? He says, hey, y'all, Fort Hood, Texas, flying over the hills. Looks like you say, looks like it's not moving. Oh, yeah, looks like just like we say. Like, is it moving? That's the question. Jeff in Lower Alabama, we flew in a C5 from Charleston to Panama. Very smooth flight. I guess so. 6 city buses. I imagine that Wild Bill, it's possible he's definitely being straight up legit. 6 city buses. And I can imagine, I can see it fitting those. Hey, Wild Bill, would that be 3 front to back? Or would it be 3 side to side? I'm thinking easily 2 side to side. Because I've been in a C-17 where it has 2 rows of heavy equipment being dropped out of it. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's 3 side by side in the C-5. But then again, that is pretty wide. George Watch is saying, when the 50th anniversary of the Air Force was a few years ago, pretty much everything the Air Force had, that just sounds awesome right there, flew and was on static display at Thunder over Louisville. C5 is gigantic. It is crazy, and I mean, you can see it from, because the size of it, when you go to an air show with a C5, side by side, I believe, I can see 3 buses side by side. Hello, Dennis. Good evening. Hello, GB. Who's saying hello to Fred? that C5, when it's in the air show, you know, they're going to park it way out at the end of everything. And it almost, because of scale, looks like it's close, but you got a long...
Hello, Dennis. Sorry.
Quite all right. You got a long walk to go see those C5s, wherever they are. You flown in one, Dave? You could easily fit 3 buses side by side, maybe more. Yeah, that's cool. So it's really the front to back, and I wouldn't be surprised if you could fit 9 in that. It is cool, huh, Bledsoe? I mean, you could straight up just drive a car in the back, in the front, high speed, you know, truck. I don't know how many C5s they have, or what's the lifetime of them, you know, like how long they're going to be in service. I don't know when they were invented. If I gotta stop playing with this guy. Does anybody know what year they came out? Was it after the C-17? GB Linden says they park it in front of Abbotsford. Canadians. So yeah, at my club, I showed off this part, and a gentleman who printed off a 3D printer, used his 3D printer to print off a sailplane in pieces. You can imagine how long a sailplane is. He was printing a lot of pieces. One of the things he said is foam tack is definitely the best glue to use. A lot of you guys will back him up on that. 60s and 70s for the C5. Air Marshal says, yeah, Space A flights. Flown on all kinds of U.S. Air Force cargo planes. C-130, C-17, C-5, several tankers. I've only been inside a tanker on the ground. I haven't flown inside of it for any reason. But those tankers are big too. They're also very high off the ground. You know, I guess because it's not necessarily a cargo plane. I mean, the stairs that go up to those things are huge. And then you have massive bays. But then again, what's awesome about those is the fuel tanks are pretty much hidden. But they're packed in that plane. First flight of C5, June 30th, 1968. Yep, just like GB was saying, 60s, 70s. Good stuff. Yeah, foam tack is the way to go, George. You use something different on your outdoor planes? Michael Rochka says, I chartered my ex-wife a plane once, and they had to send the C5 Galaxy.
You got a nail pot.
I can't keep up with that, Michael. Oh, God. You made me cry. Fred Barron says, flew in a C-141 in 1978 to Germany, reforger, and back, LOL. What does reforger mean? To Germany, reforger. What happened, they flew there and then had to go back? Was it like the same plane? Something happened? The summer of '69. What do you? That's Dave. I don't think that's just only referring to the summer of '69. I think there's something more.
Brian Adams.
Yeah.
That's a classic.
Hello, Weaven. So yeah, what I was saying about being at work and the boss talking about planes is that's not his hobby. But all of a sudden, we start talking about planes and some of the technologies, some of the metals, and he understands all of that from the top, like I say, going to space point of view. So that's why I appreciate the metals that we have. I mean, this is Inconel. That's the stuff you make the turbines out of, the blades, because one of the things about this metal is it doesn't creep. So if you get it hot and you put pressure on it, it's going to hold its strength a lot longer. But also, there's another property that slowly over time, metal will just give way. Well, this metal holds up, and that's why it is so good for that, along with the high temperature that it can withstand. Ethan RC, welcome. I thought you've been around the room before. I feel like I've even given you a wrench like twice before. But either way, welcome to the stream. I see you as gray. I can't have that, so blue you go.
Thank
welcome.
you, Rackham.
Definitely a great smile from the Rhonda, and I appreciate that, gentlemen. All right, EQ, thank you for stopping by. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Return of forces to Germany. NATO exercise for a month. Okay. Good stuff, Fred. Reforger. Dennis says, Wild Bill, I'm old enough, just not able. Dave is not old enough to remember the summer of '69. I guess it depends on which Dave you're talking about. I think some of us, we got the wisdom grays going on, the wisdom hairs. Definitely very nice. So I tell you guys, I've been busy. It was nice, though, to get out a couple videos. I definitely wanted to, when I got things set up on this computer, and I'm running it on Windows 10 now, so maybe I can go back to doing a little bit of Zoom sessions, but the Zoom basically took a poop on me and said, you know, Windows 7, you're out of support, your video card, this, that, and the other. I'm not going to do what I did yesterday. So that was one of the things that prompted me to upgrade to this. And also, that's what I was able to get the telemetry on the screen. If you guys want to use your GoPro, I believe it goes all the way back to the GoPro 5. And my lovely wife got the GoPro 7 Black for me. Thank you, Rhonda.
You're welcome.
For Christmas. So here's the things that I learned about the GoPro and how to get the GPS working. For one, enable the GoPro GPS. So go into your settings, enable it. Make sure it's enabled. When you turn on your GoPro, you have to wait until it has that dot that indicates it knows where it is on the map because it's getting GPS signals. That'll be at the top. Hit record. That's basically it to get the data for the GoPro. Once you have the data, it's another process. For what I did is loaded it to my computer and I used the GoPro app for desktop, which is GoPro Quick. Now, I did try it with Windows 7 and it said, yep, your computer's not supported. I was like, okay, all right. Windows 10, yes, that worked. Then I was able to, once I essentially just, from that app, brought it in, click on the video, and then you can see the little dashboard indicators there. They're called stickers. That's what they refer to them as because you stick them onto your screen. And so I choose, what I want. I can position them where I want. Then you can go back into that folder. I created a clip. And I also exported this to Adobe Premiere Elements so I could edit it from there, make a video. But you have to make it a clip with that on it, and it'll save it as that with the stickers on it. Bring that into your editor, then do what you want with it. So if you guys noticed my video when I did it with the Optera, and it was a cool comment somebody wrote on there, like being a bomber pilot looking down. They kind of want to make me do some bomber missions or something, like fly over houses or something. And but not over a house and drop anything. But
Yeah. Not today.
so, I think maybe some baby powder would be cool. Dropping it out, watching it go down with a streamer on it. If you guys haven't seen my C-130 video, when I did my maiden flight on that, what I did was I put essentially just some bombs real quick, some foam bombs, and then I put the party streamers on it. Because, one of the things when I was airborne in the Army, and definitely John Noon's, some like watercolored water balloons, some food colored water balloons. Make them make a mess.
Not white powder.
Not white powder.
Not white powder. No baby powder.
No baby powder. One of the things when you're airborne is if your reserve goes off in air and that door is open, that chute can get sucked out. Well, that's all good and well if it's just a chute. But what happens if there's somebody attached to that chute? You're going out the door with it. You're bouncing off everything and you're going out that door.
Jesus.
What does it say?
Get an EC 1500 and drop dog stuff on your neighbor's lawn.
Yeah, I think I would have to make it very scale if I'm doing that. That way I can hopefully get the Air Force in trouble for dropping poop on people's lawns. Can you imagine that call to the Air Force? Ma'am, no, we didn't have a plane flying in your neighborhood dropping off poop. I did. I saw you.
Not tonight, Air Marshal. Maybe next time.
Ron is getting more comfortable, but it's nice to have Rhonda back on, and we're also upstairs instead of downstairs, so it's a little easier like that. And I don't know how my kids are behaving. Well, partly I do.
They're all sick.
They're sick, and I don't know how the little guy, I don't want to say his name, I don't want to jinx it, he's behaving, but he's playing with my my headlamp. So
Hi, Jeff. How are you?
How's it going, Jeff? RC Air Marshal says, I don't know, I was at 501 and now down to 496. Oh well, gotta wait till Monday and see how it looks. Oh yeah.
Michael, I'll take that as you're saying that we are polite. Thank you.
Well, when GB hit 25,000 and he went back under because he got purged, I think he was still feeling all right, except for the actual celebration. So I think it still counts, RC Air Marshal. You went over 500. It's time for you to divvy up IX20. You guys heard it. IX20 for the giveaway. Dave made 500.
Good job, Dave.
Reed Bledsoe's. Go ahead.
No.
In that situation, the proper name is shite. The new GoPros do have stabilization. So, and that's one of the things that I would say going back and forth between the GoPro 7 and the GoPro 8. But my lovely wife made the smart decision for me that, you know what? The 7 is good, especially because the 8 came out.
Good night, John Noons.
Good night, John. Good night, Airborne. Especially because the 8 went out, the price of the 7 went down. Now, the GoPro 8 has essentially Hypersmooth 2, but GoPro 7 has Hypersmooth. When I looked at some of the advertisements for GoPro 8 and Hypersmooth 2, there's a guy holding a camera and jumping over a fence, and it looks stable. He's running. It looks stable. And I'm thinking, you know what? I've seen a lot of videos with Hypersmooth on GoPro 7 Black, and that is just outstanding for us in the RC community. That's as much as what we need. I don't know that you would need the Hypersmooth 2 of a GoPro 7 Black. Nothing wrong with it, but I just don't see the need at this point in time. And I'm a techie guy, as you guys can tell. I like the technical things, but yeah, there's no reason for me to have it. Yeah, like Bledsoe says, it's the 8 is almost gimbal quality. You know, if you can hold it somewhat steady with your arm, it'll take care of the rest. Dennis says, I want a midget hold a camera on my plane. Now, do they have to like actually be on the plane? You got one that big? That'll be cool to see. Them holding it. Hey, look how stable I am on this plane in midair.
That would be.
Wild Bill says, any of you guys in Michigan? Oh, I saw that video of your turtle there, Wild Bill. If you guys haven't seen Wild Bill's channel, check it out. He has a lot of reptiles on there. He's a reptile lover. It's definitely cool. Good stuff. And Jeff Custom RC, I think he's getting into a name calling match with GB. That's what it seems like. Jeff says, I stumble and trip, but the GoPro 7 Black makes it look like I'm sober. Yeah, that would be good for a video for the cups. No, I'm fine. Look, I'm stable in my camera. Yeah, we were talking about you know, Ryan, you'll like this one in our club tonight in our meeting. The treasurer was talking. He was saying, you know, I tried to log in to update my FAA, and you know, just email problems and blah blah. I did this, and I said, tell that to the FAA police, and he heard me, and he says, yeah, I'll tell the FAA police that my email, and then I'll tell them. Yeah, I'm not gonna say that.
Hello, Farmer Man.
Hey, Farmer Man. Nice to see you. Frank Sylvester. Ethan RC says you can watch Frank Sylvester video of him saving a turtle. Oh, that's cool, Ethan. We'll have to do that. George Watch says, Air Marshal, a new GoPro would be great with the IX20 for your giveaway. Just saying. Along with those 2 planes. Oh, yeah, that was pretty cool. I'm trying to think of it. I think it was something, Bill, that was on Dave Marshall's show Monday night. This last Monday night it was. And they volunteered. They ponied up a plane to give away for RC Air Marshall's giveaway. So, and what was cool is, you know, Dave Marshall, he didn't cheap out. He didn't say, all right, well, there's the plane. He still threw his plane in that he's going to pay for as a way of saying thank you for his skyrocket up to 500 for his hard work.
Wow.
He's going to give away a plane as well. So there's going to be 2 plane giveaways. This is, I mean, like we're hitting Dave's RC plane giveaway territory numbers here.
Good night, Bledsoe.
Good night, Bledsoe. You want to tell them how much you paid for the GoPro and some of the things and maybe where you got it?
I got it through QVC. They had a deal over Christmas. It was the GoPro, an extra battery.
Yes.
The memory card. What else was it?
There was some peripherals with it, but that's the main thing. Is the extra battery is definitely nice.
And I think I paid $2.99 for everything.
$2.99.
It was $2.99.
That's a good price.
Or $2.69.
I would say $2.69 probably
Yeah,
was a
$2.69.
deal you got. My wife is definitely good at finding the good deals. And the thing about the GoPro, like even today, we were filming and, you know, my boss was talking to somebody. That was some training. He flew in to give us some training on this 3D printer. He was saying, yeah, Josh has everything on this GoPro. And what is eventually going to happen is all of these little tidbits of information, just like you saw today in that video, if you watched it, you know, is here is cleaning up the powder after a print. So you have a build plate that's like this, and it's heated up to 80 degrees Celsius before anything starts. And then the chamber's flooded with argon. The circulation filter system is flooded with argon as well. And once we know the oxygen levels are good, it's heated up, everything's ready to go, then the door will lock, you know. And
Randy says tomorrow is his birthday.
Whose birthday tomorrow?
Randy's.
Randy. How old are you?
Early birthday, Randy.
23? George Watts says, Farmer Man, glad you can fly. It's been raining here for almost 2 weeks and flash flooding. Where are you, George? And we've had a bunch of snow. Oh, look at all the people saying happy birthday to Randy. Happy birthday. You going to sing for him?
Sorry, Randy.
Georgia weather is bipolar schizophrenic. Farmer Man says, flying outside, not so much fun. Frozen solid. Not safe for my big Cessna 150 to land on with the floats. What does it say?
Thanks 64, never been kissed.
Oh. Oh, Randy's got to pop it.
Go ahead, Josh.
Oh, why, thanks. So yeah, the GoPro and all of the steps, and it's nice that our system is essentially going to be tied into a computer screen that's going to have everything traced step by step for quality management. One of the things that was happening in the video that you guys saw today is the powder that wasn't used has to be sieved to be used again. Everything in that chamber is very carefully controlled, as you guys can saw the mask, you know, with the level 3 filtration, the eye protection. You know, this is not, nobody wants to be breathing metal particles, and when they're so light, you know, they're going to get into your lungs. They're going to be airborne, and that's why we also keep a vacuum running that has a water filtration system on it as well. Man, that is a lot of happy birthdays. That is awesome. I'm pretty sure like everybody said happy birthday to him. That is cool. So yeah, I was using the GoPro, and some of those clips are going to be showing people that are going to be working for us what to do. And for them, it's just going to be watch the video, you know, or skip it, and everything's going to be documented. Yes, I did this. Yes, I did this. You know, I didn't put anything into the powder. And all the things that we're going to be doing, it's amazing, guys, for the quality control and the quality assurance, you know, sending our powder out to be tested. Because this is a powder that is made essentially by having it be molten and airborne, and that way it's like a water drop. So it's spherical. They process it, and the good stuff is what we get. Pay a good bit, keep it maintained. Farmer, I'm not zooming tonight. I'm not sure if anybody else is. I have been training like very heavily. This is high intensity stuff, but it's all good, you know, to be able to print in metal, print something else out like this, to not have a failure. And one of the things it's different than the polymer printing is the way it's down on the plate. As you guys saw, can I see this? This was elevated above the plate, so it's almost on a raft, and that I had to chisel off because we didn't have our EDM machine is not delivered yet, but that'll be here soon. But this had to be chiseled off. It's not like it's going to be straight onto the plate and you can peel it off with a spatula like 3D printing. I mean, this is solid metal. But once we have our EDM in place, then we're going to have it be solid metal and just chop it off, because there's also going to be metal powder in places that are enclosed, and we don't want to have trapped powder and then breaking the EDM wire. Raven Rock Machine, that's the man I'm thinking about when I start talking about EDM. And he's got some good information. He's been definitely helpful for me in quite a few things. And he's also very, very good at politely correcting me. He's a knowledgeable guy.
George Watts asked how long it took you to print this.
And I'm not sure whether you saw the video, George. If you want to watch it later, you'll see. But this, we printed 2 of these, and we printed a rook, a castle, and a ring. So we printed a ring that has a band inside of, say, 2 lips. And as soon as we pulled it off the platform, essentially that ring was able to spin. And we printed that in place. It wasn't like, put together.
Good night, Jeff.
Good night, Jeff. But that print was 8 hours. And if you can see this right here, you can actually see the layers that this, let's see if I can.
Put your hand behind it sometimes it'll focus.
There you go. You can see the layers that this printed with. So you can see all of those and see how thin they are. Each time it needs to come through and lay down 40 microns of powder and then essentially melt it with that laser. And it took 8 hours to do this and the other piece that was about this big. And that's why, say, taking up the machine's time is the money. If we're printing something here.
I was waiting to see if that was going to come up.
You like that, Dustin? Yeah. So that's where the money comes in, is if we're tying up the printer, we're not able to do another job. And so if there's something really tall, it has to lay down all of these layers. You can imagine 40 microns, how many layers it has to stack in order to print something. What's up, Thompson's Hangar? Someday I'm going to be out in Missouri flying at your airfield. I like that you're going to be taking care of it. You know what I mean? That it's something that you own and it's yours. And definitely get some footage out there of it, some before and after. That way you get that pride, and you'll have a meet out there someday. People will stop in. So yeah, this 3D printing, everything has got to be done right. It is very high, intense concentration to make sure things are good. And that's why the video and the GoPro is going to be so helpful, because it's, all right, I'm just taking notes mentally. I'm writing things down on a paper, but I'm also getting it with a camera. So I can go back through and not only be able to hear the words, but also see the pictures, see the instructions, But we do things high quality at our shop, so it's definitely nice for that. It's an 8-leg butt plug. All right. So it's the Dave Marshall butt plug special.
There we go.
I'm selling these for $3.99 a piece. That's $399. But I'll do you a favor, and I'll file off these little horns for you first. But yeah, that was one of the things I was trying to think of when I was showing the layers on it. Is this is not, say, surface finished. This is the way it comes out of the printer. So we could certainly shot peen this, or hands. Or hand sand it. But yeah, this is just straight. Send it to him already. He wants it, doesn't he, Wayne? Hey, Dave, which end are you going to put in first? RC Stinger says, at least we know where we can get servo arms, etc. from you, Josh. Definitely. The other thing, RC Stinger, that's cool is actually for a servo arm, what one of our printers can do, not just say polymer and layer of polymer, but I can put in a continuous layer, a continuous string of carbon fiber. Not only lay it around the outside in a couple few layers, like say a wall perimeter, but also concentric rings around each hole. I would suggest that you get the size down just right, because it's not something you want to alter later on. But yeah, if you want a really strong servo arm with not only chopped carbon fiber inside of it, but the holes layered with continuous.
You gotta read.
Gotta read
Dave's comment.
Dave's. All right, go ahead, Rhonda.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, you go ahead.
No, I'm good.
I'll read the first.
Read
Dude, the horns are what keeps it in. You read the rest.
No.
And if you have that, think inserted. It would look like a booty tassel.
Oh, for God's sake.
Is that what you... All right. Size is crucial. All right. Stop it, Dave, says Wayne. Dave turns the condoms inside out for his pleasure. All right, Dave, I can't stop smiling. I gotta try to concentrate here. All right, so I want to appreciate everybody for putting some likes into the room. I certainly appreciate it. If you guys are here and you're talking up for the first time, saying something, I definitely appreciate that too. It's my pleasure to turn you guys from gray to blue, to add you to the list of my moderators, so that I know that you've been here before. I like seeing the new people come. It's a welcoming community. We have shows throughout the week that are, something we've made. Our community of RC hobbyists have a show for you to watch every night of the week that is live. Sometimes on certain nights, special nights like tonight, we have two shows. We have somebody in New York on the East Coast, and then the West Coast. That is GB Linden RC. He's going to be on very soon, putting up a video, putting up a live show. So I'm going to go ahead and get the link for that. It is about time we head over there. If you guys would, guys and gals, please wait a minute, and I'll get the link for it. We'll make sure that he's up and running so we have a smooth transition. You guys can just directly click on that link and head on over there. I don't know if he has it up yet. Yep. All right. So I'll get this link and I'll post it in the room, and I'll keep posting it so that when we get close, you guys can click on it. It's 9:28 now, a couple more minutes. And we'll all head over there together. All right, so and then let me name out these streams real quick. And I certainly appreciate that reminder for people to smash the like. It just jumped up. Thank you. So
good night, Reckham. Sorry. Night, Reckham.
Good night, Reckham. Certainly, we have me, Weaven Wednesdays, 8 o'clock. Then we have GB Linden, 9:30, picking it up from the West Coast. We have Thursday marathon runs by Kenny. Friday, we have, before Dave's RC, we have the Call-In Air Show. Then Dave's RC. Sometimes we'll have a late night show by Dustin or Raven Rock. Is Dave going at it again?
No.
Who? Deuces? Stinger? And sometimes on the special show, we have these. Pilot Ryan Media, the guy who started it all, the King Rat, he is on Saturday nights. 1 minute to go. I'll post the link in here for our GB show. We also have the Boozers on Wednesday, on Sunday night. Monday, Marshall Madness Mondays, we have an IX20 giveaway coming up. Don't miss his show. Tuesdays, we have Bledsoe. And then we also have some things being worked out for some other people to have the double entendre on Tuesdays as well. Good luck to you guys in your new frontier.
Good night, Randy. Thank you, George. Thank you for watching. Night, Wild Bill.
What time, Ryan? Ryan's always 9 to 3-hour show. Or he's saying 8 for somebody. All right, yeah, 8 for my show. But yes, thank you, everybody. Good night. Let me post this link. Definitely be respectful of 8 p.m. tomorrow. Don't miss a wallet drainer special by the Pilot Ryan Media channel. He is representing many different RC brands. We don't know which one tomorrow. I don't even know if he's going to give us a hint. He used to be in the Coast Guard, so he definitely believes in the loose lips sink ships. He's like I don't even ask. He just doesn't tell you until you see it. You got to catch the show tomorrow at 8.
Good night, Jeff in Lower Alabama.
Good night, everybody. Head over to GB's. I'll see you there.
Good night.
Good night, everybody. Ending the stream. And thank you for coming.
Thank
Certainly
you.
appreciate it. Bye.